His chest burned from the sprint, sweat dripping down his face. Ethan stared at the gold medal in his hand, and then, in front of the whole stadium, he turned and gave it away. But why? This is the empathy room, where small choices reveal the biggest truths. Subscribe, and tell us in the comments where in the world you're watching from. The stadium hummed with energy that Saturday morning. Parents, classmates, and coaches packed the bleachers, their voices blending into a roar that rose and fell like a wave. The final race of the day, the 400-meter dash. 17-year-old Ethan bent low on the starting blocks. Every muscle in his body quivered with focus. He'd trained for this moment, his shot at catching the eye of college scouts who sat in the stands. Just one clean run could shape his future. 2 lanes over, Mia adjusted the brace on her leg. Her gait was different, uneven, but her stare was steady. She knew she couldn't outrun Ethan. That wasn't why she was here. For her, finishing the race was the victory. The starter's pistol cracked through the air. Ethan exploded forward, his strides smooth and powerful, the crowd erupting in cheers. Behind him, Mia surged ahead too, slower, fighting with every step, but refusing to give in. By the final curve, Ethan was flying. The finish line rushed up to meet him, the noise swelling around him like thunder. He crossed first, chest heaving, lungs on fire. Victory. But as he slowed, the noise faded. His eyes drifted back down the track. There was Mia, still running, face flushed, legs trembling, but pressing on with everything she had. Ethan gripped the medal in his hand, his heart pounding for a reason that had nothing to do with winning. Why, at the height of his triumph, couldn't he stop watching her? The medal ceremony was about to begin. Ethan stood on the top step of the podium, the gold ribbon draped across his palm, the crowd chanting his name. He had earned this moment. The cameras zoomed in, flashes going off, his coach clapping proudly from the sideline. Yet his focus wasn't on the noise or the spotlight. His eyes stayed locked on the girl who was still catching her breath at the far end of the track. Mia's face was flushed, her chest rising and falling fast, but there was no defeat in her expression. She had finished what many thought she couldn't, and for her that was everything. The announcer raised his microphone, ready to declare the official winner. Ethan's teammates leaned forward, waiting for him to raise the medal high and bask in the recognition. Instead, he took a slow step down from the podium. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, confused by his movement. Another step, and then another, until he was walking across the track toward her. The clapping slowed. People began whispering, unsure of what they were witnessing. Mia looked up as Ethan approached, her brows knitting in surprise. She glanced toward the podium, as if to remind him he was supposed to be there. Ethan didn't stop. He stood before her, the medal glinting in his hand, the stadium lights catching the reflection. His breathing was still ragged from the race, but his voice came steady when he spoke. "This belongs with you." He extended the medal toward her. For a moment, she froze, unable to process what was happening. The crowd fell into a hushed silence, the kind that made every sound sharper. The rustle of jackets in the stands, the snap of a banner in the breeze, the faint click of a phone camera recording. Then Mia's hands slowly lifted, trembling as she accepted the medal. The ribbon slipped through Ethan's fingers, and gasps broke out around the stadium. She stared at the gold pressed against her palms, her lips parting as if to speak, though no words came. Her eyes glistened, and Ethan gave a small nod, as if to say she didn't need to thank him. The silence held for a breath, and then the stands erupted. Cheers thundered louder than they had for any finish line. Some shouted his name, others shouted hers, the sound a wave that washed over both of them. Coaches clapped their hands, parents dabbed at their eyes, phones rose higher to capture the moment. In that instant, the race was no longer about who finished first. It was about the choice to honor someone else's struggle. The medal had shifted hands, and so had the meaning of victory. The crowd was stunned, their whispers turning into a rising wave of cheers. Phones shot up, capturing every second of the exchange. Ethan's coach shook his head in disbelief before clapping slowly, pride spreading across his face. parents wiped away tears, their voices cracking as they called out both athletes' names. The video spread across social feeds within minutes, comments flooding in from strangers across the country. Some praised Ethan for his courage, while others questioned if he had given away something he alone had earned. Through it all, Mia stood clutching the medal, her expression a mix of awe and quiet triumph. For a moment, the stadium felt united, not in victory, but in the power of a single act of generosity. Ethan had always been the boy chasing wins, running extra laps at night, believing a medal could open the door to college and ease the strain on his family. But standing there, he felt that victory alone wasn't enough. Mia's path had been harder, years of therapy, endless training, classmates doubting her. Yet she kept showing up because finishing mattered more than applause. As he watched her cross the line, his father's old words echoed. Trophies collect dust, but the way you treat people lasts forever. For the first time, Ethan understood that the medal in his hand was only metal, but the choice to honor her effort could mean something that would never fade. In the days that followed, the moment spread far beyond the track. The video replayed on news stations, shared on phones in classrooms, and talked about around dinner tables, and what began as a small-town race turned into a story that inspired thousands. At school, teachers spoke of Ethan's choice during assemblies, reminding students that kindness carried more weight than trophies, and the administration moved quickly to expand opportunities for athletes like Mia, giving her and others the chance to compete on equal ground. For Mia, the medal was more than a symbol. It was proof that her determination had been seen, that her fight to finish mattered, and for the first time she stood not just as the girl who tried, but as someone whose courage was recognized. Ethan watched the reaction quietly, never asking for credit, simply relieved that people understood why he had done it, and in his heart he knew the gift had changed him too. He realized that the victory everyone cheered for on the track was nothing compared to the victory of lifting someone else higher, and in that moment the race had found a new meaning. Greatness wasn't about crossing first, it was about making sure no one was left behind. As the stadium lights dimmed in memory, the image remained sharp. Ethan stepping down from the podium, the medal glinting as it passed from his hand to Mia's, the crowd holding its breath before erupting in a roar that would echo far beyond that track. For Ethan, that moment rewrote everything he thought winning meant, because he discovered that the race wasn't just about speed, it was about recognition, about lifting someone whose journey demanded more than anyone could see. Standing side by side, Ethan without a medal and Mia with tears in her eyes, they shared a victory larger than a stopwatch could measure. The crowd had witnessed more than a race. They had witnessed a reminder that true greatness is found not in the trophies we keep, but in the moments we choose to give them away.